Welcome back to Flight Deck. It's Emily. Welcome back to part 2 of Frankfurt to Czech Airlines and how it's the PMDG 777-200ER. We are somewhere over Florida now. We are. Let's see where that's supposed to be. So this does get inherently inaccurate the more you zoom out. Yeah, so we just entered Floridian airspace. Floridian. The Floridian Meridian. And we're getting ready for our arrival. Now, we've actually reached the end of our route now. So just plugged KSFB, which is obviously McCord, Sanford, and it's the final waypoint. And I thought we could have a look at our arrival today. So, what we'll do is we're actually just going to skip a star. In fact, bear with me. What we'll do the Alana 4. And we'll do an ILS 27 Romeo arrival. Snap. And this will then go snap, snap, snap. So that will then basically plug our arrival in. So we'll slightly adjust colours and we're above descent profile. So we'll start our descent now. Relative sign will go on. And the aircraft is going to start its descent. So you can see the throttles are well back. Aircraft's going to start a descent. I'm going to put some air brake out for it. And yeah, the airplane's now going to start dropping like a ton of bricks. So we're at 3,500 feet above profile now. But don't worry. Those engines are spooling up, aren't they? Why have the engines just spooled up? There we go. Easiest way to deal with that, forcibly retard the throttles. Oh, the aircraft's thinking it's being clever. Just flitch it down. So flitch. Oh. And we should go to that. I know, but I'm trying to catch the profiler. So please descend, thank you. I'm not. Unless you're trying to be incredibly clever and fly me out of a TCAS warning. Which, I'll be honest, I'm rather you just did an aeroplane. I know better than you. And after that arrival into Heathrow in the A380, I know better than you. There we go. So when we get to about 1,000, I'll kick the nav on. So we're now being Jacksonville, Florida. Wow. And here comes the descent path. And VNAV. And air brakes to stow. Air brakes to arms. That right there. Woo! The airplane's climbed a bit there by accident, I think. That was. There we go. That now decidedly can't get in the way. So how's everyone's day been today? Mine's been pretty good. A lot of self-care done today. Well, I've been at work, so I will confess. Since the last video, I have been to work. I took a train to Edinburgh and back in real life. What do we do? So yeah, it's quite a busy job for us, that one. So it's sort of quite stressy, and you forget about it. Then I got to the station and thought, right, what am I doing now? Like, flight then. So yeah, it was quite a nice little sort of thing to come home to. Aside from that, what else is there to talk about? Oh yeah, I got asked for a shift swap, which I'm ignoring at the moment. No, the person in question hasn't been particularly pleasant to me lately, and they're asking a favour. And no, you don't get to be nasty to me and then ask me for favours. That's not how this works. Aside from that, yeah, nice little time. What are we doing? So yeah, the Floridian coast. Out of interest, can I find it on this on Sky Vector? So I happen to know that the Disney parks have a no-fly zone, and it should be on the charts for Florida land. Oh, so we're going into Orlando. So there is actually TFR in play, or coming into play, sorry, for space operations. And that is just happening due west of Orlando, or due to Orlando. That's cool. So we should see the NASA site has been landed today. I am looking forward to this landing. I'm not actually landed a 777 in years. Well, no, but well, I did the 777-300ER video a couple of months ago, but that's not the same, and we both know it's not the same. I do wish there was like an ambient event that, like, if you flew past at a certain time or did something specific, you'd see a rocket launch. Like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, set your time to, or like, on the whatever of May at 11 o'clock, this ambient event occurs. Like, that would be really cool. Just because, you know, that's one of the things of Flight Simulator, right? Is yes, you're simulating flying a plane, but a lot of that is the environment as much as, or the environment around you, as much as it is the actual sort of technical specifications and systems of the aeroplane. And like I said, I'd love to have stuff like that in. Especially since everyone who likes planes is inadvertently a space nerd as well, let's be honest with ourselves. Well, not everyone, but most people. Let's put my TCAS back on, see if that resolution has cleared yet.
Traffic.
It's ahead of us. 2.5 miles, 2,500 feet below. He should be in sort of this area. And he's not. Oh, he's disappeared. So yeah, we're going to land slightly faster than we need to, but that's fine. I'm going to do a jump cut and I'll see you guys about 10,000 feet. Yay! I'm just supposed to about 15,000 a little bit early, so I've got to leave the break out because it's actually quite a high pressure area, comparatively speaking, over Orlando at the moment. So we'll be landing in with that. Also, we are landing to the north of Orlando, so I believe that's the shuttle landing site there in the distance that you see. We're not going to get that much closer to it. Well, we'll get a bit closer. And Disney is to the south. For those of you wondering how I figured that out, watch this. Zap. This is a website called SkyVector. So this is a VFR chart. You can look at different charts. So en route, different charts. Orlando Tactical, I believe that'll probably be, yeah. So we're looking at World VFR. So this is KMCO. This is where we flew out of in the original flight, and this is due east of Disney, which has got the TFR in place, which is effective until further notice, and it's basically enforced permanently. Ever since 9/11, that's been enforced. Disney, Florida. So it's a fun little fact for you. At Disney, everyone has a name badge. If you couldn't work out a name badge or you lose your name badge, it'll be your name badge will be Steve from Kissimmee, Florida. Is it Kissimmee? I don't know. Kissimmee, I think. Yeah. I don't speak American. It's weird. I know that obviously this is the shuttles, so you can see all the high points then for the launch sites. And you've got the shuttle landing site there. And I'm not sure what that is. Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. Okay, it's a skid strip, and that's yeah. So that's the front building. That must be something different. That must I don't know what that'll be. But anyway, just sort of be cool to look at. And you can see you can get this sort of detail for the whole world. Just Google SkyVector or put SkyVector into your favourite search engine. So if you look at the UK, for example, home base for us at the moment gives you perspectives of the northeast and sort of that's a smallest firing range for the military. That's a smallest firing range as well, I believe. So yeah, just gives you a little bit of details like that. NDB, all sorts of stuff. Anyway, back to the aircraft. Look at that. So yeah, skyvector.com is the website. Right, so we're descending on track. Put my air brake away. Put it, yeah. Just off now. We're at 12,000 feet. Like I say, so our oil brake's been set to step 2. Landing speed's going to be 134 knots. And we're going to be absolutely grand today. I'm putting this fan back on because this PC is toasting. Okie doke. So, yeah, this I think is close we're getting to the spacey stuff. What I'm probably going to do is a VFR flight. I've just done CAT-K, so probably a couple of weeks' time I'll post it. Where we'll take off and fly around Orlando. But CAT-K's, that was out of Miami as well, you've got to remember. You've got to remember it. That's just the thing, you've got to remember it, guys. You've got to remember it. God damn it. Shit. Right, what we're actually going to do is, I'm just going to cut the SID off because it wants me to start, because it wants me to fly around like an idiot. Wait, no, that makes sense. Ignore me. VNAV. So, the different autopilot modes on the sort of vertical guidance on the 737 or 777. I can't speak English. VNAV is basically so there's sort of 2 modes, I guess, for the autopilot. There's manual, which is what I would sort of consider having using speed set, flight level change, and heading select. And there's automatic, which is L9 with VNAV and just auto throttle hold. So VNAV, that little map is what we've used on the flight over here. That is basically just a route following. So you plug a route in and the aeroplane will fly that route and it'll get to the end of the route. Okay, I've got to the end of the route, what do you want me to do? Right. VNAV does that, but in a vertical parameter. So it knows where it needs to be, it knows where it is, and basically it can computate things as a result. So you can also use that for approaches and landing. Flight level change is basically, if you're going up, it'll set full power and pitch for the speed that you've set in the speed window. If you are descending, it'll descend in idle power and pitch for the speed you set in the speed window. Vertical speed modes are a little bit in the middle, where basically you can set a vertical speed, or FPA, which is some fancy acronym for basically how many degrees of descent you want. That's the best way to explain it and understand it. Yeah. So the field is just to the east of us. That is Sanford there. So Sanford is where the resort airlines fly to, so Thompsons and stuff like that will go to Sanford. So it's sort of like a charter holiday job that we're doing at the moment. So we'll just let the airplane fly itself for now. It is handling things absolutely brilliantly. So how do we know that? Well, we know the speed it wants to be at is 240 knots. We're slightly below, which is fine. And we are absolutely nailing the vertical parameters here. Other fun thing to check is your RNP versus your ANP. Required navigational potential versus actual navigational potential. So the aeroplane, being the clever little clogs that it is. No, I was right here. I should have. Right, we're just going to take radar vectoring. So the good news is the lateral guidance works here. So we're just going to pop it into a flight level change descent, and we're going to basically just aim for the end of the ILS now. And the airplane's now going to recalculate the vertical path and go, oh my god, you're high. That's fine. The plan's going to be to basically just go and put ourselves onto a downwind, hook around. We want to be at 1600 feet. So I'll plug that in. And because I'm not really descending any better, I'm just going to take half speed brake. But yeah, that ding was to say the cabin is prepared for landing. Which, cool. You know. Over the Florida Everglades here. And we'll go into that downwind leg now, so just 0908 for now. How many DME away from the runway am I? So give me DME range, roughly 11 miles. So yeah, I'm going to pull back to 210 knots. That'd be a good speed to be at. We don't want to come thundering in too heavily, basically. But we want to keep our descent up. So what we'll do is we'll just say vertical speed. There you go. So that's an example of when you can use vertical speed. So we've taken the control away from the airplane. We're now using heading select. So just telling the airplane headings I want it to fly. And I've told it, I want you to keep descending at 2,000 feet per minute. I don't care that you're not going to slow down as efficiently, but I want you to keep descending. And you can see the airplane's now like, oh, you're going to make this approach. That's good. Exactly what I wanted to see. So do another sweeping turn to intercept the bypass. And I've just noticed the 1600 feet is bump, so we'll just do that. So set us to 1500 feet per minute rate of descent. Everything's armed up. So basically, when I hit the end of the ILS, we'll go into altitude select mode. Or altitude hold mode, sorry. And then just allow the radar to live. We are getting quite close to the aerodrome now, so I'm going to turn all my lights on. I don't know, my strobes got turned off. Now, my next lateral guidance I'm going to select will be localizer mode, which is going to intercept the radar wave, the radio beacon that it's set for, which is today the ILS at Sanford. So the airplane's now rolling out, or leveling off lovely. And I'll just go notch one flap. Power came in to save us from decelerating too much. You can see it's overcomplicated ever so slightly, but that's fine. We're now intercepting the localizer. You can hear the throttle sort of making noises in the background. If you can't, then watch this. You definitely can now. Same with speed brake's still out, which is suboptimal. Speed brake's now armed for the landing. So the aircraft is actually nailing the altitude here. So now that we've intercepted the localizer, we're going to say we've been cleared for the approach. So OK, 410, clear for the approach. ILS 27 Romeo, I believe it was. So select approach mode now. So you can see the airplane is still in an altitude capture. So it's still holding us at 1600 feet, but glide slope mode is armed. So the glide slope will come in when it's ready to. Now, because we're on quite a short quite low. I'm gonna leave things the way they are for now. Yeah. Use 400 feet on the balance to tell us when we want to do our thing. Now we are on a 10-mile final. So I'm going to set my throttle to my speed set to 160 knots. And you can see, again, speed holds in, but the throttles are chopped to idle. So the nose is riding up, which is increasing our drag, which is going to increase the rate at which we do speed once the wind sorts itself out. We're now on flap 5. The airplane got a bit scared. And we're now 8 miles. Just to help make sure we keep this descent accelerating, I'm going to go gear down quite early. This just feels closer than the instrumentation is telling me that it is, so that's why I'm in sort of paranoia mode. So there's the glide slope coming in. Glide slope's coming, glide slope captured, so you can see the nose now drops, so we fly the glide slope. And we said the landing speed today was 134 knots. So if my speed's coming off, my flaps are down, that's set. Everything about the way we are configured now is optimal for landing. We are about 10 knots above landing speed now, which is fine. That's acceptable. So we qualify stable on the approach. We are at VRF, we are on glide slope, we are in a good position with the airplane configured. So the approach stable, continue landing. That's fine, we do not care about that today.
Approaching minimums.
Continue approach.
Minimums.
Loading a bit.
30.
Right narrowing it.
20. 10.
Why is there a sailplane here? Literally, what are they doing gliding from this place? There's more gliders than there's anything else. Flipping heck. Right. We'll go flapless. Off, down. that is us now configured for the taxi. And only other thing I need to do is TCAS to standby. This is insane, the levels to which this is struggling right now. So what we'll do is, when we use 12, spot 12 to park on. So stop the aircraft temporarily. Press follow me, no. Use Sanford Airport for ground handling, please. Thank you. Now for the taxi, I'm also turning off my taxi lights because we're now entering the stands. Okay, she's saying she'll take the toilet a bit more. Okay, maybe like a foot more. There we go. I'm on stand now, apparently. And APU to start. Projector goes off and off. And that's our arrival to Sanford. So, GSX.
You are currently parked at the wrong parking position.
No, I'm not.
You are currently parked at the wrong parking position.
Stop talking, lady. Nobody cares. Literally nobody. Just waiting for it to say APU is available. We'll use electrical. There's actually an APU panel on there, isn't there? And there is not. That's good to know. There you go, APU spinning up to speed, nearly there. Okay, APU's got it, so cut fuel to 1 and 2. Watch the engines roll back. Wait for these to drop to 20% N2 and then we will turn off the beacons. Yeah, they've run up and plugged us in already because they know we're not moving. How deeply convenient of them. And we'll get the AC unit plugged in. And ground service vehicles. We'll get stairs on 1 and 2 left. And just disembarkate that way today. But that's going to do it, guys. I really hope you enjoyed today's video as much as I enjoyed making it. This has been okay. So you know, the landing probably not my greatest moment in the triple, but at the same time, like this bike lot is iconic, and I'm genuinely sad to see it go from the world skies. This obviously was the older Czech Airlines livery that we flew today. Just what I could find and the one I liked most. But yeah, I'm going to say thank you all very much for watching today. As always, fabulous product from PMDG. Can't wait to fly it again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye. One last thing before I go, I guess. As it is a Czech Airlines aircraft, na viděnou.